This past November 2019, I had a mild severe surgery. 4-in-1 kind of surgery because I was developing an esophagus tumor, so I had to have it rebuilt. And so was half of my stomach removed due to consequences. Well, let's say that being 35 years old, I went and left nothing undone just in case I wasn't coming back. That's sick how I was. The surgery went well. It took the medical staff about 8 hours to pull me through, and I was being awakened. For a few hours, everything seemed as normal as an after-surgery can be, going back and forth from different consciousness states. Around midnight, more or less, something happened to my body. I went too light, weight-wise, like literally I could almost feel myself floating. And as soon as I realized that, I opened my eyes to see and feel myself with my face almost near my hospital room ceiling lights, while somewhere really far below, like an echo in the deepest part of the back of my mind. The machines I was attached to were going nuts and wild. In a few seconds, I could hear the nurses breaking into the room. I could feel the odors really accentuate. The scent of a medical gown just ironed, something ice cold running through my veins, and the sudden scratch-like feeling down my throat. All this while I was floating inside what I believed to be the ceiling neon white light. And if you were wondering what I was thinking, I wasn't. The state of being made everything feel just so normal that I wouldn't question anything. I didn't reach for God, maybe because I'm a Buddhist believer, but not a practitioner. Maybe because to me God, the angels, seemed something unreal if I had to think of man-made figure and form. There wasn't a shape. I wasn't a shape, though I was consciously aware I am a body, and yet I wasn't one. I have no idea exactly how long that took, but I wasn't willing to come back. All I could feel was this infinite, exquisite, perfect feeling of a love the human mind cannot conceive it can exist. There is a freedom in it and an ease, and an authenticity and a genuineness and a sense of belonging words cannot express. It's like never being lied to, so not even being able to conceive a bad feeling. What I now understand to be is that there is no contrast in there, absolutely no form of duality, so perhaps no further expansion. Yet it's not static, but moves and travels forever. It's like looking at a beautiful sunset that never sets for eternity, or like eating your most favorite food but never getting full while the plate never empties. It's like a default screensaver that moves in the same exact way forever, but you don't know yourself to be a screensaver, you just are. I wasn't asking questions, I wasn't reaching for anything nor going anywhere, yet I could float like I'd been exquisitely laid down in water. I wasn't asked nor pushed to come back, but I do remember the depth knowing of having to let go and come back. It is quite harsh to decide, especially if you've suffered tremendously and for a very long time, either physically like I did or emotionally. I remember this continuous exhaustion after the treatment and the metal flavor of the food. But in the end, I did come back, and in my experience, I came because in that brief second of the almost decision, I got to experience the contrast of the guilty feeling and all the range of the human emotions. What I was leaving here on earth, the chance to fix broken relationships and so on, so I came back. The doctors back then told me it would take a while to recover, to get back to normal living. That could take up to 6 months to eat what you consider normal or play sports up to a year. Well, things didn't go as they planned for me. While having 69 stitches, I drove myself back home. I was aware of not being able to lift more than 1 kilogram of weight, so I had my teenage son help me carrying the groceries. I wasn't able to take the stairs or walking more than 10 minutes, so I had my Italian Mastiff 3-year-old dog help me pull myself up while I was holding to his collar. It took me nearly 10 days to have myself the complete autonomy, and not at least 3 months as the doctors predicted. I went off to take off my stitches, and the nurse was almost shocked because it looked like I'd almost didn't have surgery at all. I kept taking the prescriptions and followed their diet yet every day, but I knew my body was okay. I started walking every night for an hour when a week before I couldn't take more than 20 steps. I became starved to know what happened to me and why I was so different from my doctor's predictions. I went into self-help, studies, manifestations, and then found your channel, Neville Goddard Teaching and such. I'm not quite sure about the alien races or if they truly existed. All I know is that consciousness and energy is love. It's like falling in love but without the obsessing parts, the worrying parts. It's like knowing deep within that what's yours, it cannot be taken away from you. It's a peaceful knowing of sweet acceptance of everything existing, like someone's opinion so different from yours. Wars, peace, disease, death, marriage, religion, childbirth, abortions. It's like accepting in a way that you know it's genuinely none of your concern, someone else's decision, whatever that might be. Because your soul accepts the lesson that specific persons had chosen for themselves, so there's no judgment to begin with. I don't know if any of these makes much sense. All I know is that my miracle healing is due to the fact that within me, either was my soul or my conscience deciding. I refused to be sick, to be treated like I was ill, even when I suffered the most. I wouldn't allow anyone to be near me that could treat me like I was ill. Even the day I had surgery, even afterward while recovered in the hospital, I wouldn't allow anyone to be there or visit. It was just me. And by doing this, in 2 months, I was on my feet, and whoever didn't know about my surgery never could possibly imagine.